Throughout the Baby Einstein series, there have been many toys without a single trace of them outside of being featured in a video, which isn't much of a surprise considering there are over 1,000 of them throughout the videos. Some of these have been found after long searches, while others remain lost. Today, we're going to go over the top 40 Baby Einstein toys that were once lost, but are now found, and the stories behind the finding. These will be ordered in our general idea of the least and most important finds, as well as how detailed the search was. Please note that the definition of unfound we will be going off of in this video is a toy or other object that does not have a single picture or video of it in exact form outside the series. Also note that not every previously unfound toy will be in this video, and we chose this ones to include based on how much we remember of the search for them, along with their overall significance. This means that toys found before 2017 will not be in this video. So with all that said and done, let's get started. First up is the spun glass plane ornament from Baby Santa 2004, just one of the many Baby Santa ornaments that are featured in this video. I wasn't really sure when this was found at first, but a picture of the similar gold version from Earthpoint I had saved on December 22nd, 2018 would suggest it was then. On December 8th, 2022, I found and bought a lot with the exact silver ornament. Since then, a few people have gotten the gold version, and a tag on one revealed it was likely the original company, Roman Inc.
Next is the light-up Christmas tree from Baby Santa, a toy that was mostly only unfound due to how hard it was to identify in the video. It went without much of a search for a while, but was eventually found by NOAA in November 2018, and identified as the Twinkle Bright tree by Department 56. Despite dozens upon dozens of it being on eBay, only a couple people own it, with Jagger getting it shortly after being found.
The unknown smiley face kinetic from the 10 Years of Discovery bonus feature is exactly what the name says, unknown. Obviously, it was not credited in anything since it was in a bonus feature, likely planned to be used in a video, but eventually scrapped. It went unfound and generally unnoticed until January 3rd, 2019, when I found in a picture on the archived website of Studio Papagallo, a Greek novelty website that, among kinetics, sold many other Baby Einstein toys. Nothing has been found of the toy since then.
Up next is the candy train ornament, shown for about a second in Baby Santa 2004. Nothing was known about it until June 14th, 2022, when enthusiast Cameron C. found and bought the ornament on eBay. He eventually got another one which had a tag that is likely the real manufacturer, a company known as Slavic Treasures, but this has not been proven true. The only other appearance of it was a listing Jagger bought in June 2023.
Next is the Funny Cess Ballet Kids finger puppet set from Baby's First Moves, a toy that despite having a fair amount of information known about it, has never been seen for sale secondhand. On July 7, 2018, I found it in a low quality image on the Wayback Machine, but unfortunately I don't remember what website it was on. Since this find, a slightly better quality image of the original one was found, along with a version from a Korean website. It's also worth mentioning that the names of the two puppets were found from an old Amazon listing, with the boy puppet being named David, and the girl, not used in the video, being named Claire.
The Scandinavian reindeer ornament is one of the many previously unfound toys from Baby Santa, which makes sense considering the original video did not feature a toy chest. There was virtually no info or leads on this, so it came as a surprise when on May 9th, 2020, enthusiast Zachary Negro found and bought the ornament on eBay. Since then, only one listing of it has been seen, which Jagger purchased, and the manufacturer and name of the toy are still not known.
The pull-along block card from Baby Shakespeare 2004 never really had much of a search for it, considering everything else unfound the community was hunting for. It was listed as being made by Ryan's Room in the Toy Chest, which is a division of Smart World Toys. On October 20th, 2023, I decided to search Earthpoint for a wooden toy block card, and after a while of digging, it showed up. Although it didn't list a brand, I was able to find a very low-quality stock image of it from the website Toy Directory by searching the name up in quotes on Google. Nothing else has shown up for it since, with the one archive listing and the stock image being the only things found of it.
The Wowie Bell from Baby's First Moves was an entirely accidental find, with some conflicting information about it. In the toy chest, it is listed as the Spin Beads Activity Ball by Small World Toys. While this was recently found to be a secondary name for the toy used by certain companies, such as Small World Toys, it's likely not the original name for the toy. On November 5th, 2018, I was looking for an Infantino fish bath squirter that I owned and decided to check the Wayback Machine for Infantino to see if I could find it. While trying to look for it, I accidentally found the Wowie ball, which matched up with the one seen in First Moves. Since then, a few BE enthusiasts have found it at a thrift store, but it has almost never been seen for sale online in the US.
Despite being found, the penguin plush from Baby Noah still has many questions to answer about it. In the toy chest, it's listed as Mary Meyer, and while that is correct, the listed name of Percy Penguin is an entirely different product. On October 20th, 2023, after finding the Shakespeare 04 block card, I was looking for the toy on WorthPoint using a simple Mary Meyer Penguin search, and the exact plush was on there. While some details of the plush are still unknown, namely the line it was under, one listing lists the toy's name as Pia Penguin, which is likely correct as the tag is included. The toy has been on eBay since then, with one selling to be enthusiast godfather of B.
Next is the set of 3 Dazzling Drops ornaments from Baby Santa, another toy that once again had absolutely zero info on it. Some vague theories were made about the ornament early on, but the search quickly died off. On December 2nd, 2022, Noah found and bought an eBay listing of the ornament using Google Lens, plus 2 others that were from the same set. The ornament's name and manufacturer were now known, with the set being made by Avon. A handful of listings for the set are currently on eBay, and a few enthusiasts own it as well.
The 3 blocks on a string ornament for Baby Santa 2004 follows largely the same story as the other previously unfound ornaments. The toy chest credits it as being made by Aldic, but their archive website does not have it, and the toy had virtually zero info for quite some time. On July 13, 2023, bee enthusiast Cameron C. found the ornament on the secondhand website eBid, but was unfamiliar with the website and was skeptical to buy it. I had bought from the site once, so I purchased the listing and it arrived safely. While the brand is still not known for sure, a lot of sticks recently sold on eBay to enthusiast Nathan Scones, who sold the excess ornaments.
Up next is one you may have forgotten about, the Rhythm Pals Orchestra Shaker from Baby Bach, which was only used in a kid scene. There was a color-edited image of a different colored one that was thought to be the exact, but the beads inside were also colored blue and it was eventually debunked to be fake. Other colors of this toy were relatively easy to find, and a handful of bee enthusiasts own one, however nobody could find the exact teal-colored version. On October 6, 2021, I finally found a picture of the exact one on the web.archive page for the toy store eToys, which also has many other BE toys. Since then, a few other images have surfaced, mostly from toy libraries, archive toy websites, and European sites such as Vinted. However, no BE enthusiast owns the exact color.
The Balesque Zoe from Baby Da Vinci went under the radar compared to many other unfound toys, which isn't surprising considering most toys were just a bit more interesting to look for. On July 30th, 2018, I was browsing Wayback Machine with no particular goal in mind, and eventually found a website called Elements of Nature, which sold many Manhattan toy products, and the Balesque Zoe was on there, making it found. In the time since, only a few listings have been seen, one of which I got in 2019.
Adding to the list of previously unfound Baby Santa ornaments is the purple mosaic disco ornament. Nobody really knew it was unfound, and it was assumed it was a different, circular disco ball ornament. But interestingly enough, the exact ornament was reused in the Wii School holiday video, which gave a much better angle of it. This proved that the other disco ball ornament was not actually it, and a slight curve was noticeable in the original video. However, for a while, the ornament was not seen outside of those. In November 2022, a lot was found that had some ornaments that were identical to the one shown in Wii School, albeit in different colors. Then, on New Year's Eve 2022, Noah found a lot of 5 of the ornaments, this time including the exact purple ornament. But despite it being previously unfound until this point, It wasn't purchased until March of 2023 by Cameron C. The only other appearance of this ornament was a lot of 2 that Jagger purchased in January of this year.
The grandstanding pandas from Baby Noah was a surprisingly easy find and one I'm surprised hadn't been found earlier. On July 6, 2018, I found it on Safari Ltd's archive website along with the penguin pandemonium. Both were listed under acro beasts with building rattle blocks mentioned on the packaging. The only appearance of the toy since was in a baby toy lot on Facebook, which Cameron C. got.
Next is the reindeer ornament from Baby Santa 2004, which is currently the only unfound toy to be found in a thrift store, and considering the astronomically low odds of that happening again, it'll probably stay that way. On March 12, 2022, I went to a Goodwill, and as the store was about to close, I found the ornament in the Christmas area of the store. It took me a moment to even recognize that it was the right one, as I had to pull up the video to confirm it was it. Obviously, I bought the ornament, and once I got home I decided to see if I could find anything about it, but there turned out to be nothing. Since this find, a few people have bought the ornament, with one listing revealing the brand to be Kurt Adler, who despite being credited for a different ornament or 2 in the toy chest, weren't thought to have made the reindeer, which was credited as being by Midwest.
Next is the Spunglass Bird and Nest ornament, another Baby Santa toy that had very little information about it. While there are many similar Spunglass Bird ornaments available, none of them feature a large nest that this one does. On December 22, 2018, I was looking through WorthPoint to try and find it, and I did. It was with another ornament, and the lot title stated that it was by Silvestri, but that has not been confirmed for sure, as it could just be referring to the other ornament. For almost 5 years, there was no other trace of it, but in December 2023, I found about a lot of 6 of them, and sold the extras.
Up next is a set of 2 toys that we decided to group together because of all the similarities they share. They are the Twist About Smo Monkey plush and Pirate with Parrot puppet, both from the opening scene of World Animals. Both had virtually no search going on and were found mostly by chance. On February 25, 2024, an eBay listing for the Twist About Monkey was found using Google Lens by bee enthusiast Evan Carter. The listing was quickly purchased by Cameron C. Other than the listing that Cameron bought, the only thing for this toy anywhere online is a separate WorthPoint listing. The barcode on the toy's tag from that listing led to a company called May's Department Stores, which is a now defunct department store that merged with Macy's upon liquidation. The Pirate with Parrot puppet was found on complete accident by bee enthusiast Koala, who was looking at miscellaneous Manhattan toy listings on WorthPoint and eventually found a listing for the puppet. There were a few on recently, but most did not include the parrot, and the one that did sold to Cameron.
As of making this video, the Fairy Ballerina ornament from Baby's First Moves is the only one of the 5 toys credited as being by Hobby Lobby to be found. It seemed like a lost cause at first, considering how little info there was on the other Hobby Lobby credited toys, but on November 28, 2022, I was doing a WorthPoint search for Feather Ballerina ornament, taking into account the tutu which appeared to be made of feathers. Despite it being credited as theme ornament sugar plums in the toy chest, I realized it looked much more like a ballerina and searched it up as such, thinking others would have thought the same. It turns out that they did, and up came a listing of 3 of them, making the ornament found. Unfortunately, no brand was mentioned in the listing, and it is still unknown. A confirmed brand could potentially lead to finding the other Hobby Lobby items, namely the unfound fairy wind chime. Nothing has been seen of the ornament since this find.
Up next is the Seahorse ornament, a toy from Baby Noah which virtually had no information about it, as the company listed in the toy chest, Old World Christmas, is likely incorrect. Searches had led to similar seahorse ornaments before, but none close to the exact one had ever appeared. On March 7, 2023, Koala had searched up seahorse resin ornament on Google, taking a guess on the material it was made from, and stumbled upon an image that looked to be the exact one on the site sellc.store. This website seems to have old stock of this ornament with over 40 of them in stock for $10 each. Despite the cheap price and rarity, only a couple enthusiasts got them, including Jagger. They are still available, so if you want one, the website will be linked in the description below. 。  . 。 . 。 . . . . . . . 。 . . . 。 . . . 。 . . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . . 。 . 。 . 。 。 。 . 。 . 。 . . 。
You wouldn't think that the Venus Connect mobile from Baby Motors 2004 was ever unfound, as almost a dozen people currently own it, but that's not the case. In 2016, I, along with enthusiast Sam 3 Missing Reviews, distinctly remember seeing the Venus on Golden Island's old company website, but neither of us saved any images, and the website went offline shortly after. On January 24, 2018, I was doing some Google searches using the phrase kinetic art translated in Chinese. After a bit of looking, I found some kinetics on the website ttnet.net, and after some more digging, a picture of the Venus Connect showed up. This was an archived wholesale listing, and despite it still being viewable, the chances that the company still made it were slim to none. The company listed for it, Starway Co. Ltd., is still unknown, and their products on TTNet are virtually the only source of them anywhere online. Since this find, the Venus has gone from unfound to just plain rare, with many enthusiasts buying it from various sources, most from a seller in the UK. It's still not something you see often, if at all, on eBay, though.
The Magic Airliner from On The Go has a fair amount of information on it, but has never been seen for sale secondhand. Credited as being by Nova Design Group in the toy chest, it was found on April 30th, 2018 by Sam and Jagger in a trade show photo from HQ Invento, the original German manufacturer of it. Unfortunately, nobody is sure where this image is originally sourced from. Shortly after, a much better picture of it was found by Jagger in a Nova Design catalog. A stock image with it was also found by Koala in 2023. These remain the only appearances of the toy to date.
The Spiral Comets from Baby Van Gogh is my personal most wanted toy, but there was a point in time where it wasn't found at all. There wasn't much of a search for it that I can remember, but on November 15, 2017, enthusiast Sam 3 Missing Reviews found it listed on the German secondhand site Kleinanzeigen, making it the first ever image found of it. Although Sam claimed he was going to get it, nothing ever came of it and the listing was eventually removed. For over 5 years, nothing else showed up regarding the Spiral Comets, until December 17, 2022, when user Rift found a promotional catalog from Revit Tanaka from the year 2000 that, along with many other interesting things, had the Spiral Comets in it. Interestingly enough, a second blacklight mobile is featured with it, called the Psycho Helix, but this has never been seen outside of this catalog. This is certainly one of the rarest toys to have a found image in Baby Einstein, and I hope to get it one day.
Next is the solar-powered roundabout from Baby Beethoven, a toy that perfectly bridges the line between rare and common. Despite being unfound in the first place, it's still being sold, albeit for very expensive prices. It was credited as being Nova Natural in the original toy chest, which may still be true considering the lack of info on the company. However, on May 12, 2018, the toy was found by Sam's Remakes and Reviews, listed as being manufactured by a German company called Crawl. Crawl also made the tumbling gnomes used in Baby Beethoven, so it makes sense that they also made this. As previously mentioned, the toy is still being sold, mainly in Canada and the UK, but with international shipping it totals over $100 in some places, and no enthusiast currently owns it.
Although they are just paintbrushes and a strange choice to include in the video in the first place, the chunky paintbrushes from Baby Noah have some interesting stories behind them. Little was known at first, and the listed manufacturer of Challenge and Fun didn't have them on their archived website. However, on July 30th, 2018, I was doing some digging through various toy websites on a Wayback Machine, and after going on the site kiddingaround.us, they were right there on the front page, even blinking for whatever reason. Although the image file was very small, this was the first ever sighting of them. In the time since, they've appeared a few more times, but no enthusiast owns them. A video was found by George using the Russian search engine Yandex's image search feature, and it was also determined that a German company known as Urzi distributed them internationally, with one listing from them being sold in Mercari, Japan. A higher quality catalog image was also found from the archived website of Sensational Beginnings.
Up next is the Baby Gap doll, which appeared in Language Nursery and Baby Mozart. Although the exact version of the doll was not found for a while, many slightly different dolls were seen on eBay or found at thrift stores, despite Baby Einstein not crediting the brand in any toy chest. Notably, a better view of the exact doll is shown in the Wordsworth's Book of Words book, where it can be seen in a toy chest. However, on February 20th, 2022, BE enthusiast GEW found the exact doll on eBay and bought it. making him the only one to own the exact doll to this day, as it has not reappeared since in any form.
The teaching tower from Baby Shakespeare tended to be glossed over a bit when compared to all the other searches going on at the time. It was eventually determined that Batat likely manufactured the toy, with many similar versions with different stickers being found and bought. Despite this, the exact version, created in Baby Einstein's Learning Smith, remained unseen. That is until New Year's Eve of 2018, when enthusiast Noah found a picture from a toy designer's profile on Google, showcasing the mini Batat toys that were distributed by Learning Smith. Although the color order is very slightly different, this was the first ever sighting of the exact stickers, and it was found with a simple Google search for Learning Smith. It's also worth noting that this picture has the pop-up top from Shakespeare as well, although that was never unfound at any point. Since then, it has only been seen once or twice. I got one off of Facebook, and there was recently one on Mercari, but for some reason it was only listed as local pickup.
Even though it's not as obscure as some of the other unfound toys from Baby Monet, the Nello bird puppet went a while without being found. I can't remember there being any organized search efforts to find it early on, but on June 16, 2018, Sam's Remakes and Reviews found it through a Google search that led to the now defunct website funforkids.de. Since then, it was seen twice on Vinted France, of which Jagger bought both and sold the second, as well as a couple times from the German site Kleinanzeigen.
The wind-up cat with bow tie from Baby's First Moves is a toy with some significant history behind it. Around 2017 or 18, Koala claimed to have seen 2 or 3 of them in a wind-up toy lot on Worth Point. However, this listing wasn't able to be traced back and hasn't been seen since, so it's essentially unconfirmed. The toy was credited to be by Mary Thoughts in the Toy Chest, but there was no sign of it on their website or any other site with their wind-ups. On May 22nd, 2021, me and Koala were looking on Flickr for any images of Baby Einstein toys, and after Koala found a page of a store with hundreds of wind-up toy pictures, I jokingly dared him to find the wind-up cat, something I say as a joke because of how difficult it would have been to at the time. But to our surprise, 5 minutes later, after doing a search for wind-up toy cat, I found the toy. Although it wasn't shown from the best angle, it was obviously it, and somehow made my joke a reality. This image didn't tell us anything about the brand of it, but on September 18, 2022, the enthusiast Slava found a listing of it on eBay, which Noah eventually got, that said the toy's real brand of Russ Berry, who made a few other tin wind-ups in the Baby Einstein series. One sold in a lot shortly after, but it's unknown who got it, and it hasn't been seen since.
Despite being found, the lion push puppet from Baby Noah is a toy that still has very little known about it. I, along with Jagger, had looked for it for a significant amount of time, but neither of us found any promising leads. It's credited as being Galt in the Baby Noah toy chest, but I've never even seen a Galt push puppet, so many people, including us, were skeptical of that. On May 4th, 2019, I went back to looking for it, and to my surprise, found it almost immediately. I don't remember exactly how I found it, but I do know that me and Jagger were calling at the time, and both freaked out. It was on a website called wakuya.net, which is an international translation of the phrase push puppet. It was owned by a longtime push puppet collector, so Jagger decided to contact her and see if she knew anything about it, but unfortunately she did not, other than it being from the early 2000s. Since this find, it has only shown up a few times, with only a couple enthusiasts, including Jagger, owning it. The original manufacturer is still also unknown.
Next is the Shining Sun Mobile from Baby Galileo, which, unlike the Papa Moon Mobile, was not saved from Petratoy's website and remained unfound for a very long time. Although a similar version had been found in 2019, there were some significant differences to the one used in Baby Galileo. In March of 2022, I was in a call looking at toy stores in Czechia on Google Maps. This inspired me to dig further into various sources of Czech toys, and on March 18, 2022, I decided to focus in on archived Czech toy sites on the Wayback Machine, and eventually found a site called abacus.cz, which has some PDF catalogs archived. Among the many other Baby Einstein toys in these catalogs was the Shining Sun Mobile, being it the first ever image of the exact, or so I thought. It turns out that a few days ago in that call, I unknowingly passed over the toy in the middle of a toy store I was looking at, which if I noticed it then, would have made it found a few days earlier. It's also important to note that the picture it was in was from 2020, which raises many questions of whether or not it's still being made in Czechia, but I'm assuming by now it's been discontinued. Since these finds, nothing has turned up for the toy other than one additional Czech Toy Story image from 2015.
Up next is the magic clock from Baby Bach, which was one of the first unfound toys to be found, and a heavily desired toy for many enthusiasts. On July 9th, 2017, I was looking up random keywords on Google that could have possibly worked to find it, such as foam moving clock, and stumbled upon a website for a company called Double Chin, and while I didn't think anything of it at the time, I went on to it to see what they had, and lo and behold, the magic clock was there. It turns out the website I had went to was a site for the original manufacturer of the magic clock. Funline Merchandise, who Baby Einstein credited for it, distributed it in the United States, while Double Chin originally manufactured it in China. Since then, the toy has still remained incredibly rare. Only 2 enthusiasts have it, and the one Cameron C has a slightly different middle section.
The Super Helter Skelter, or Super Robot from Baby Newton, was one of the most sought-after toys to find for a while, with many promising leads on it. Many toys similar in style were found, including this version I found in September 2022, which is remarkably similar. Some were skeptical that it was made by Heros, the brand created in the toy chest, as most of their products were archived in one way or another. However, on Halloween 2022, enthusiast Mr. 10 finally found the toy on a Hungarian second-hand site, and the box showed that it was indeed by Heros. It was listed as Super Rollbahn, the direct German translation, but this varied between different languages seen on different listings, and it's likely that the American version was indeed called Super Helter Skelter. Since that find, a few people have gotten from international sites, including myself.
The Wind-Up Whale is another toy from Baby Noah where Disney listed the brand incorrectly, this time being listed as Tomy, which doesn't make sense considering that every other wind-up in the video is by Tomy. Any past attempts to find this toy led to dead ends, suggesting that the toy was not actually by Tomy, which it turned out not to be. After Jagger asked a wind-up toy collector whether or not they knew anything about it, they stated that they had the toy, but nothing ever came of this, and they never sent a picture of it. On October 3rd, 2023, Jagger and I were looking up various BE toys on Le Bon Coin, a French second-hand site like Vinted that Jagger had just found the day before, and I decided to search up whale bath toy in French with hopes that it could potentially be found. I found a lot of bath toys with a whale that looked just like it, although due to the bad angle, it was hard to tell whether or not it was the exact one. After looking closely for a while, we eventually came to the conclusion that this was indeed the exact toy. Right after this, Jagger found a brand new one on Vinted, which revealed that the brand was Tygex, a French baby company. Jagger ended up buying both the one on Le Bon Coin and the one on Vinted and sold one of them to VTG, although none have appeared since then. It's worth noting that there could be a US distributor for the toy different than Tygex, but that's nothing more than an assumption.
By the time most major searches had concluded, the Sunny Wind Dazzler from Baby Beethoven was probably at the top of the list for toys to find. For a long time, all efforts to find it had fallen short, as the website for New Tech Kites, the listed manufacturer of it, did not have it archived. The only significant lead was a very low-quality picture from a New Tech Kites trade show of a kite that appeared to have the same face as Sunny. However, on January 27, 2023, I decided to check New Tech Kites' archive website again and went to their page of listed retailers from 2005. After checking many of them without anything, I got to the second to last one listed as Performance Kites. I immediately noticed the Wind Dazzlers category, which is New Tech's name for their wind spinner product line, and went to an earlier year on the website to go to it. After doing so, I was greeted with what is technically the first ever image of Sunny. Although it was only a rendering, it was as good as found to me and everyone else shocked by the find. Since then, it has not been seen again in any form, with the exception of a slightly different image of the render from an archived Australian website.
Next is the plush cow from Language Nursery, and for a long time this was one of the most sought after unfound toys, next to nothing known about it. Many people remember Baby Einstein crediting Brio as the brand of it on the Baby Webster flashcards, but the card does not mention any brand, and neither do any later versions. This led many enthusiasts to assume that it was correct and began searching in that direction. Many other brands were brought up as potential candidates, but it still remained unfound. That is until April 26, 2020, when bee enthusiast Sir Mulligans found it through a completely unrelated Google search, which eventually led him to find this image on a now defunct site called PhotoBucket. While this did make it found, it didn't provide any help as to who could have made it. Luckily, the very next day, enthusiast Noah managed to find a different source including a tag, which revealed that it was part of a nursery rhyme-themed plush series by Eden, this one being based on Hey Diddle Diddle. This lined up with a few people's theories, as it was noticed that some Eden toys had the same eyes as the cow. The search went dormant for over a year, until enthusiast Cameron C. found and purchased one on eBay in September 2021. As of now, the toy has become surprisingly easy to find, and over a dozen have been sold on eBay in the past year or so, many coming from one seller with an old stock of them.
The playful insects, or bugs on the run from Baby Shakespeare, was probably at the top of the unfound list for a good while. Many theories were brought up, most skeptical of what Baby Einstein created the toy as, Playful Insects by Pacific Innovations. Some figured it was a different brand than Pacific Innovations, potentially a lost DY toy product, and others figured the name was likely wrong. In late 2018, a Baby Einstein ripoff was found called Classical Kids, and I made plans to buy the 3 DVD box set. But before I could, on December 11, 2018, a user on Pinterest known as MJS posted screenshots of the toys from the video, and in one of the screenshots was the toy, seen from a previously unknown angle. Unfortunately, although it was great to see it, the screenshot didn't give us a ton of other info about the toy, and MJS never ended up uploading the video online. A couple weeks later, I purchased and uploaded the Classical Kids DVD set, giving us some more footage of the toy. The search was inactive for almost a year, until September 12, 2019, when an enthusiast known as Bowie had found and bought the toy on eBay, using a search for Pacific Innovations. Although Baby Einstein did correctly correct the toy as being made by Pacific Innovations, the name as shown on the box was completely different, Bugs on the Run. Since this finding, the toy has only shown up a handful of times, with I and a user known as JMaster getting it, and another copy showing up for an auction. A quick side note about my listing, I jokingly told George to look up Bugs on the Run on eBay, and somehow a listing was actually on right then and there.
The race car clock from BeMeltzer 2004 may have the most detailed search history of any toy in the series, considering how much the community wanted to find it. The toy chest lists a brand misspelled as RL Service, which is supposed to be services, and has a phone number attached to it that leads to another brand named Tykes, which sold phone products but not phone clocks. In 2016, a very similar motorcycle clock was found that shared many of the same features of the race car clock. This eventually helped determine that the brand of it was La Fantasy, a Chinese manufacturer of phone products. Many searches were made for La Fantasy clocks, but it did not turn up. That is, until February 1st, 2021, when me and Jagger were searching through the newly discovered US trademark database, and I decided to search up La Fantasy. After clicking on the specimen, which is just a few pictures that show what the products the company wants to sell, an image of La Fantasy's website from 2007 showed up, and on page 2, after 5 years of searching, it was there. The image wasn't in great quality, but this finally marked the first ever found image of the race car clock. It's also worth noting that the original website was almost completely unarchived by the Wayback Machine, so this trademark specimen is really the only surviving piece of it. After this find, another catalog image was found by Jagger, and a listing of it was found in Czechia by Bee Enthusiast DJ, which Jagger eventually got. You can hear more about this in his review on this channel.
Just like the race car clock, the clown clock from Baby Box 2004 has a long history behind its finding. It is listed as tabletop and wall-mount clown in the toy chest, once again with the unknown company RLS Services listed as the brand. Even less was known about this compared to the race car clock, with no similar clocks being found. When the race car clock was found, the same specimen page it was on had a frog clock, which looked remarkably similar to the clown, with a long stick attaching it to the colorful base. On November 22, 2021, I was looking for it once again, and decided to look up La Fantasy's old company email and quotes on Google, hoping it would lead to a secondary source for their products. To my surprise, it did, and I went onto the website ihomediy.com.tw to see what was on there. In addition to other catalog pages, which among many others feature the race car clock, there was a page for a combination clock, which had an image of the clown clock on it, with the product number LC963 listed on it, in addition to tabletop and wall mount being listed in the top left, confirming the name listed on the toy chest. Despite it being a product rendered like the Sony Wind Dazzler, I could rest easy knowing that I finally found it. As of now, nothing new has been seen of it, although I did get the tiger clock shown on the same page, as well as finding a lamp version of the pig clock seen in the catalog on Le Bon Coin.
We end the video with what is almost certainly the most significant toy found in Bee community history, the Ball Popper, or Push-Along Dancing Teddy, from Baby Shakespeare 2004. This toy is a perfect storm of obscure, with a very zoomed-in view in the video, limiting what we can see of it, and it being missing from the toy chest entirely. In 2018, when searches for the toy were becoming extremely active, it was theorized that there was some sort of yellow animal standing on the center ball, like a lion or a bear, but with all the theories being thrown out around this time, many of them were simply absurd, such as the yellow animal standing on top of the ball being a licensed character like Big Bird or Pooh, fueled thirdly by this Big Bird popping top that was found at the time. Many toys by Kittyland, International Playthings, and Small World Toys use the yellow bear on their toys, including the Busy Box, which also appeared in Shakespeare 04. It was eventually thought to be one of these brands, and this theory would turn out to be correct. Around April 2022, Koala noticed that a PDF search was added to the Wayback Machine, allowing you to search for keywords found on the first pages of PDFs of all archival websites. On April 6th, as I was looking for Baby Einstein PDFs using the search Baby Bach, I found a Spain Toy Store catalog which contained Baby Einstein media as well. I decided to look through the pages, and alongside other rare things such as the Busy Box, Threading Cheese, and a Little Naughty's Mobile, the Push-Along Dancing Teddy was miraculously found on one of the pages. The photo even included a picture of the box, which revealed that it was by Kittyland, who exported many of their other toys to both International Playthings and Small World Toys, including this International Playthings toy which used the exact same bear as the Dancing Teddy. Upon decompiling the PDF, an additional angle was also found. Since this discovery, it has been seen on other foreign websites on the Wayback Machine, in Canada, New Zealand, and Australia, some of which list the toy's other names, like Push-Along Bear. However, it has never appeared on any American website, nor has it been for sale secondhand in any country ever. If it does appear for sale, it will almost certainly be outside of the US, likely in Europe and Australia. For me and many others, finding this felt like the end of a very long journey, ending in the most sought-after toy I find in the series being found. Its finding gave many in the community, including myself, more motivation and knowledge than ever to find the remaining toys left, and I have little doubt that many of the most significant unfound toys left will one day be found.